Let's jump right into today's explainer. We're looking at a beautifully simple yet incredibly profound story today. The tale of a tiny turtle who actually outsmarted a massive storm. And trust me, whether you're leading a team or just navigating everyday life, there are some massive takeaways here for all of us about what true leadership really looks like.
So, let me ask you something to kick things off. Does being the biggest actually make you a hero? You know, we usually equate size, strength, or having the loudest voice in the room with courage. But as we're going to see today, true heroism, it often comes in the most unexpected and, frankly, the smallest of packages.
Our story starts on a really warm summer morning, deep beside a sparkling blue lake. This is where we meet our main character, a tiny turtle named Toby. Now, Toby woke up that day with a seriously big dream.
What's really fascinating right off the bat is the stark contrast in mindsets here. On one side, we have Toby. He doesn't want to spend his life hiding under rocks. He wants to explore what's over the next hill, simply because he believes courage is stronger than fear. On the other side, the older turtles. Their whole worldview is entirely fear-based. They warn Toby the world is way too dangerous, and they actually laugh at his ambition, preferring to just stay hidden. It's that classic clash, right? A growth mindset versus a mindset completely paralyzed by fear.
But Toby? He doesn't let the laughter stop him for a second. The very next morning, he packs up a little leaf filled with berries, takes action, and begins his journey. And honestly, at first, it looks like the older turtles were dead wrong. Toby strolls into this gorgeous forest. Colorful butterflies are dancing around, birds are singing these cheerful songs. Everything is just picture perfect.
Well, as we all know, perfect moments don't usually last forever. A massive crisis was brewing. Just look at how fast things go from peaceful to complete panic. It starts out beautiful, right? But just minutes later, the sky suddenly grows dark. Shortly after that, a vicious storm rolls in. Thunder is literally shaking the ground, rain is pouring down like waterfalls. Moments later, the wind is whipping so hard it's pushing heavy branches right across the trail. It's absolute chaos. And the bigger, faster animals, they completely lose it. A terrified rabbit screams that the storm is too strong, and all these large animals just rush away in sheer panic.
So, while everyone else is running away terrified, our tiny hero notices something awful. Rushing floodwater is heading straight toward a family of baby squirrels, and they are completely trapped inside a hollow tree. Now, how does Toby respond to this? He doesn't run, he slowly crawls right into that rushing water. And this is absolutely brilliant. He uses his heavy shell to stay steady. Think about that for a second. The exact thing that makes him slow and seemingly vulnerable becomes his ultimate advantage in the flood. He acted entirely without thinking about his own safety. He didn't stop to calculate the risk. He just saw a need and immediately stepped up.
And that brings us to this incredibly powerful two-word command, climb on. With zero hesitation, Toby offers his own back to the babies. The squirrels scramble onto his shell, and step by agonizing step, fighting against the rushing water, Toby carries them toward higher ground.
The tension here is just off the charts. Just as they are inching towards safety, lightning flashes across the sky and a massive tree suddenly crashes down right onto the path behind them. Everyone gasped. It's one of those terrifyingly close calls that really shows you just how deadly this storm actually was.
Afterwards, one of the rescued squirrels perfectly summed up the gravity of what just happened. They said, if Toby hadn't helped us, we would have been trapped. It's such a stark reminder of the literal life-saving impact of Toby's selfless action. Without him stepping up, the story for those squirrels would have ended very differently.
Fast forward a few hours, and the rain finally stops. Golden sunlight starts breaking through the clouds, and the forest is sparkling with tiny drops of water. But as the animals start creeping out from their hiding spots, they're met with total destruction. Nests have fallen down, huge branches are blocking the trails, and all their food is washed away.
And this right here is a masterclass in what true leadership looks like in practice. Without waiting for anyone to ask, Toby just gets to work. He starts carrying acorns, he's moving sticks, he's helping birds rebuild their nests. And look at what happens. The rabbit sees him and joins in. Then the much larger deer and the fox follow his lead. Before long, every single animal is working together. By sunset, the forest is fully alive again. One tiny act of unprompted leadership created this massive ripple effect that united the whole community.
As the animals finish up their work for the day, the wise old owl lands on a branch to summarize the absolute most important lesson they all learned.
The owl totally redefines everything the animals thought they knew about heroism. He tells them,
True courage isn't about being the biggest or the strongest. It's about helping others, even when you're afraid. The owl points out that having the biggest heart is what actually makes a hero, not having the biggest physical stature.
After the owl says this, the whole forest cheers for Toby, and we get this really beautiful moment of accountability. The older turtles, the ones who laughed at him that very morning, slowly walk forward. They admit they were wrong. They say, "You showed us what true courage really means." And Toby's response is just wonderfully humble. He smiles and tells them he wasn't trying to be brave, he just saw someone who needed help.
The events of that single day sparked a lasting cultural shift in the forest. Now, whenever storms roll in, the animals don't panic anymore. Why? Because they remember Toby's kindness, his patience, and his immense courage. His story is passed down to every young animal in the forest, proving once and for all that even the smallest hero can make the absolute biggest difference.
As we wrap up today's explainer, I want to leave you with a question to really chew on. How will you show true courage during your next storm? Next time you face a massive challenge, remember Toby. You don't have to be the biggest, the loudest, or the strongest to make a profound impact. You just have to be willing to step out of your shell.